Cozumel, Mexico. You can choose to stay on the small island of Cozumel, just off Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, and shop for Mexican crafts or explore the nearby reefs by snorkeling, diving or glass-bottom boat. Or, head to the mainland for shopping and dining in Playa del Carmen or the chance to explore Mayan ruins like you'll find in the walled city of Tulum. Once a major center of maritime commerce, the 60-acre site features stone carvings, archways and architecture with sundials that light up during the solstices. Various eco-parks offer water play opportunities and chances to see native flora and fauna. The culture of Cozumel is highly unique, in that it combines ancient Mayan traditional culture with modern Mexican culture, modern Caribbean culture and the unique culture of an area devoted almost entirely to tourism. Festival's Carnival usually falls on the 5 days preceding Ash Wednesday and is a celebration of Caribbean heritage that brings out the best of spirits in everyone. It's a week of parties, dancing in the streets and parades. After the parade each evening, everyone congregates on the central square to eat and drink at stalls set up by local restaurants and civic groups and to enjoy local and out-of-town musical and variety shows. Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May, celebrates the Mexican victory over the French at Puebla with festivities primarily centered on taverns. The St. Peter and St. Paul Festival is a traditional fiesta held June 28 to 29 with much singing and dancing including the unusual Dance of the Pig's Head. Dancing, music, fireworks and the traditional Viva Mexico cheer at midnight mark Mexican Independence Day on September 16. Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, is marked by visits to cemeteries with food and flower offerings November 1 to 2. The Day of the Mexican Revolution is celebrated with sporting events and a military parade through San Miguel on November 20. Churches all over Mexico observe the Virgin of Guadalupe Fiesta on December 12 with services and parades. This begins a 2-week period known as Navidad Posadas, roughly translated as movable party. There are open houses all over town as family and friends visit and share the Christmas spirit. Celebrations culminate on the evening of December 24 with an all-night party including a large midnight meal. Religion: the majority of residents of Cozumel is Roman Catholic. Currency: Mexican peso, but almost just as official as the American dollar. Many prices will be shown in pesos, but in tourist restaurants both are normally shown. If you need to get funds you can use ATMs in several locations, but the money will be pesos. Cuisine: huarache, a popular Mexican dish consisting of masa dough and smashed pinto beans placed in the center before it's given the oblong shape. Filled with a variety of toppings including salsa, onions, potato, cilantro and other proteins such as pastor or chorizo, and then finished with queso fresco. Cochinita pibil: it is roasted pork meat cooked underground in traditional covered BBQs with achiote and sour orange juice. Ceviche: typically made from fresh fish cured in citrus juices, lemon or lime, spiced with pepper, salt, chopped onions, chopped tomatoes and some additional seasonings. Siquilpac: it is a Mayan pumpkin seed dip, also a delicious alternative to guacamole or hummus. 7-color lobster: this is a special recipe, which secret hasn't been released yet. We will tell you where to eat it and it is truly one of the best food experiences I've had in my entire life. Relleno negro: it is a dish based on turkey, pork and mixed chili peppers. Frijol con puerco: it is literally black beans with pork, which better goes with a traditional sauce from Yucatan, which of course includes habanero chili. Attraction: Palenque Reef: one of the best spots to dive is the Palenque Reef, rising from depths of up to 80 meters to shallows just beneath the surface of the sea at the southwest end of the island. A popular dive includes a large bronze figure of Christ placed some 17 meters underwater. Cozumel's beaches: while the island is not particularly well known for its beaches, there are beautiful areas of magnificent powdery white sand, a byproduct of the numerous coral reefs surrounding the island. Among the most popular and attractive of Cozumel's beaches are Playa San Juan and Playa Santa Pilar in the northwest corner of the island, and Playa San Francisco, Playa Santa Rosa, and Playa Palenque to the southwest. Of note on the east side, which opens to the Caribbean Sea, are Playa Encantada, Playa Hainan, Punta Morena, Playa Chen Rio, and Playa Chiqueros. Also, worth a visit are Playa Mia Grand Beach Park, a popular spot for snorkeling due to its easy access to the coral reefs at El Cielo. San Miguel de Cozumel. On the northwest side of Cozumel, San Miguel de Cozumel is the island's capital and offers many interesting distractions. In addition to being a tourist hub, it's also a busy port. Many ferries depart regularly to the mainland, particularly to Cancun and Playa del Carmen, and the port also hosts cruise ships as they ply the sparkling waters of the Caribbean Sea. Be sure to check out the interesting coral reefs monument located near here. The town also boasts a major international airport. Laguna Chancanab and the National Marine Park. One of the most interesting natural attractions on Cozumel is Laguna Chancanab, a small freshwater lake just 7 kilometers south of San Miguel de Cozumel in the National Marine Park. Cut off from the sea, apart from a number of underground channels, it's a popular spot for outings thanks to its crystal clear water and numerous colorful tropical fish, and is an enchanting place to swim, snorkel, and scuba dive. Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Once your ship docks at Grand Cayman's capital, Georgetown, it may be tempting to simply veg out under the casuarina tress along the white sands of 7 Mile Beach. A more adventurous option involves a boat trip to the famous Stingray City Sandbar. As you snorkel in shallow water, tour operators provide buckets of chopped up squid for you to feed to the huge stingrays. The rays will eat from your hand, and are quite polite as long as you don't step on their tails. Save time for a quick run to the Tortuga Rum Factory on South Church Street and fight the tourist hordes for its notoriously good rum cakes. Culture. The culture of the Cayman Islands has and more recent immigrants from the United States. In the 21st century, approximately 113 nationalities make up the residents on the 3 islands comprising the country. Festivals. Wine Festival during the last Saturday in January, their tastiest treats during one of the Caribbean's largest food and wine festivals. Foodies from around the world can enjoy cooking contests, children's games, live entertainment, and tastings of some of the Cayman Islands' finest rum. Little Cayman Mardi Gras Festival. Little Cayman's annual Mardi Gras celebration begins on the last Saturday before Ash Wednesday. Among the festival's highlights is a lively float parade which begins at Head Obey and ends at Edward Baden Airfield. Participants come from as far as Cayman Brac and Grand Cayman to dance and celebrate. Cayman Islands Orchid Show. The wild banana orchid, the national flower of the Cayman Islands, is just one of a dozen orchid species on display during the early March Orchid Show at the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. Visitors can purchase these beauties, learn how to grow them, or simply admire the floral arrangements during this 2-day festival whose proceeds go towards establishing a permanent garden in the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. K-Fest, a traditional boat launch reenactment at 7 Mile Beach, kicks off this 2-week-long showcase of Cayman Islands arts and culture each April. The International Storytelling Festival called Jimastory attracts performers from across the Caribbean. Other K-Fest highlights include live folk singers, fashion shows, and a historical treasure hunt. Short film and photography competitions are also important parts of the event. Cayman Carnival Batabano. One of Georgetown's liveliest events is this annual early May festival filled with live calypso and soca bands. Named after the tracks in the sand left by the sea turtles crawling towards their nesting place, the main Batabano parade sees more than 100 nationalities represented in colorful costumes and music. There is also a separate, but no less joyous, Junior Batabano parade for children. Cayman Islands Pirates Week. This festival began in 1977 as a way to boost Cayman Islands tourism during the beginning of the November low season. Pirate Week has now grown into one of the island's most anticipated events. A highlight is the raucous costume parade where pirates and wenches capture the governor as they march through the streets of Georgetown. Smaller events held throughout the islands include sea turtle releases, cardboard boat races, and plenty of food. Religion. Grand Cayman has more than 4/5 of the population. Chief religious denominations are Church of God, United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, Presbyterian Congregational, Baptist, Anglican, Roman Catholic, and Seventh-day Adventist. Currency. The Cayman Islands dollar is the although US dollars are readily accepted everywhere. Although some international banks abbreviate it as KID, the country's currency is usually identified within the Cayman Islands as C dollar. Cuisine. Coconut shrimp in Grand Cayman. There's simply no substitute for fresh coconut shaved that day, and you'll be surprised at the nutty, delicate flavor. This is a great starter dish for anyone who feels a little uncertain about trying something new, familiar, yet totally different thanks to the ultra-fresh ingredients. Conch stew throughout the Caribbean, seafood rules. And shellfish on the menu everywhere you go. For something truly local, be sure to order the conch stew. Conch is a sea snail that lives in a pretty pink shell, and this dish serves it up in a soup packed with tomato, herbs and cayman peppers for a little kick. The conch itself is similar to a cross between escargot and clams, but with a more delicate flavor and texture. You can find this traditional dish just about anywhere in Grand Cayman. Turtle stew. When Columbus first spotted the Cayman Islands, he called them Las Tortugas, thanks to all of the green sea turtles there. Turtle has always been a delicacy on Grand Cayman, and it's hugely popular with both locals and adventurous tourists. It's often served with beans and rice, or possibly a side of plantains and coleslaw. Depending on the freshness and who's making it, the stew also contains chunks of plantains, breadfruit or yams for a bit of sweetness, and perhaps doughy dumplings as a finishing touch. Attraction. Stingray City. The world-famous Stingray City is an absolute must-do for any visitor to Cayman and is often described as the experience of a lifetime. Stingray City is home to approximately 75 southern stingrays that you can touch and swim with. These wild, gentle and graceful creatures roam free in the North Sound, a 35-square-mile area of ocean protected by the reef. Even the most seasoned traveler will be enchanted by these beautiful animals. Cayman Turtle Center. Cayman's largest land-based attraction, Cayman Turtle Center, Island Wildlife Encounter hosts more than 500,000 visitors each year. See turtles' new hatchlings, when in season, right up to turtles weighing more than 500 pounds. Then head to the touch tanks and wading pool for a more personal experience. This attraction also includes a lagoon with a water slide, a predator reef for viewing reef and nurse sharks, a nature trail and more. The castle is often termed the birthplace of democracy in the Cayman Islands. It was the venue for not only the decision in 1931 to form the Cayman Islands' first elected parliament but also the announcement in 1835 that slavery had ended in the British Empire. Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park opened by Queen Elizabeth II herself in 1994, in partnership with the National Trust. This is Cayman's only botanical garden. The 65-acre park is dedicated to preserving local flora, fauna and wildlife. It is home to the Blue Iguana Recovery Program, and is the only place in Grand Cayman where you will find these magnificent endangered creatures. Cayman Islands National Museum. The museum's mission is to celebrate the unique natural and cultural history of the Cayman Islands. Kittiwake. Sitting at a depth of 62 feet in clear Caribbean waters, the Kittiwake is a former submarine rescue vessel that served in the U.S. Navy. National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. The National Gallery of the Cayman Islands houses the national art collection and attracts numerous international exhibitions throughout the year. It also offers an art library, sculpture garden, shop and cafe. Cayman Motor Museum. The Cayman Motor Museum showcases 80 classic automobiles. Also, on display is a selection of motorcycles, power boats and historical exhibits. Explore the crystal caves which were formed over millions of years and see stalactite and stalagmite crystal structures and otherworldly formations. Tours are approximately 1.5 hours and take you through the surrounding tropical forest area and 3 spectacular caves. Crystal Caves Safari Tour. The Mastic Trail. The Mastic Reserve protects the large area of untouched, old-growth dry forest remaining on the island. It is significant as it represents some of the last remaining examples of the Caribbean's dry, subtropical, semi-deciduous dry forest, which have been the target of particularly intense deforestation throughout the West Indies. Its area is home to a wide variety of animals and plants unique to the Cayman Islands, and also to large populations of trees which have vanished from more accessible places through logging in the 18th and 19th centuries. The National Trust runs informative and interesting guided tours, so can you learn more about the historical significance of this area. Grenada, capital, St. George S. Nicknamed the Spice Island, Grenada has been famous for growing more spices per square mile than anywhere else in the world. Less commercialized and more unspoilt than some of its neighbors, the capital St. George's, passengers exit the cruise port directly into the town, is one of the prettiest towns in the Caribbean. Whilst there, visit some of Grenada's spectacular beaches and lush rainforest where tropical fruits and spices grow, or take a tour of the small factories where they are processed. Culture Grenada French colonists brought along their culture, across the Atlantic for agricultural work. The combination of these cultures is what you will find on this island. Indians have also influenced the island culture in more recent years. The official language is Standard English. Patois is very rarely spoken today. Festivals Carnival. Unlike many other Caribbean locales, the first is on Carriacou in February, and the second is on Grenada in July or August. These two cultural events are known for their bright colors, costumes, and general festivities, including the naming of many carnival dignitaries. Independence Day. Grenada's independence from Britain came on February 7, 1974, and this date is celebrated annually. Many celebrations happen during this time, and some include an awards ceremony and cultural extravaganza, military parade and rally, and a reception at the Governor-General's house. National Dance Festival begun in 1991 to encourage children in one parish's public schools to dance. This festival has grown into a national affair. Religion. The majority of islanders are affiliated with Roman Catholicism, with Protestantism coming in at a close second. Interestingly, perhaps due to the high population of African descendants, many believers who consider themselves Christian also believe in obeah, or white magic. Obeah agents are known for their ability to cast a spell, and newspaper articles can often be found citing the rising of a spirit who is haunting the island. Cuisine's Grenadian oil down the national dish. This delicious and filling meal is one not to miss out on. A hearty one-pot concoction of salted meat, chicken or fish, crayfish, local-style dumplings, breadfruit, green fig, sweet potato, dasheen, and callaloo amongst other vegetables. Everything is stewed down in fresh coconut milk, herbs and spices to create a taste bud sensation that will keep you full all day. It is normally cooked on an open coal or wood fire and the centerpiece of any social gathering. Known as the Island of Spice, Grenadian cuisine features such spices as mace, saffron, cinnamon cloves, nutmeg, lemongrass and tankabian. The foods of Grenada are considered by many to be the most flavorful of all the Caribbean dishes. Currency. The official currency of Grenada is the Eastern Caribbean dollar, which is also used throughout most of the Eastern Caribbean. Underwater Sculpture Park. Popular snorkeling sites as an underwater gallery of that very much reflect Grenada's culture. Fashioned from a variety of media but predominantly from simple substrates including concrete and rebar, they create an ideal substrate, relatively fixed and permanent, on which marine life may develop. They are sympathetically located to enhance the reef, making natural use of its varied topography of craggy gullies and sun-dappled sandy patches. Carenage, historical section of this town in the Carenage, its centuries-old port lined with quaint Georgian buildings. Georgian architecture denotes the classical style built during the reign of one of England's King George, including King George III, monarch during the American Revolution. The Greater Antilles. The Greater Antilles region refers to the 5 larger islands and 6 countries of the Northern Caribbean, the Lesser Antilles. The arc of islands that roughly define the eastern edge of the Caribbean Sea are known as the Lesser Antilles. A large geographic region, the Lesser Antilles stretch from the northern edge of the Caribbean Sea to the coast of South America. The Netherlands Antilles. A political, not geographic, designation, the Netherlands Antilles includes the former Caribbean possessions of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, including Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, Saint Martin, Saba, and Sint Eustatius Statia. The Windward Islands. The Windward Islands are the northern islands of the Lesser Antilles island group in the eastern Caribbean. They are so named because the trade winds touch here first, placing these islands upwind from the Leeward Islands. The term dates back to the days when explorers and merchants relied on the trade winds to carry their ships across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. The Windward Islands include Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada. The Leeward Islands. The Leeward Islands are the northern islands. They are so named because they are downwind from the Windward Islands, which the prevailing trade winds reach first. The Leeward Islands include Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat and Guadeloupe. The French West Indies. The French West Indies includes the two overseas departments states of the nation of France, Guadeloupe and Martinique, as well as St. Martin and St. Bart's. French Guiana also is considered part of the French West Indies. The British West Indies. Historically, the British West Indies BWI included more than 20 Caribbean islands that were part of the British Empire, including Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and Turks and Caicos. Many of these islands have gained their independence from Great Britain over the years, however, are still referred to as the BWI. The Mexican Caribbean. Mexico actually has a huge swath of coastline on the Caribbean Sea, including such popular destinations as Cancun, Cozumel, Isla Mujeres, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and Puerto Morelos. The region is entirely contained within the Mexican state of Quintana Roo and is commonly referred to as the Riviera Maya. The Bahamas. The Bahamas, archipelago formerly a British colony, the Bahamas became an independent country within the Commonwealth in 1973. The name Bahamas is of Lucayan Taino Arawakan derivation, although some historians believe it is from the Spanish Bahamar, meaning shallow water. The islands occupy a position commanding the gateway to the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and the entire Central American region. Their strategic location has given the history of the Bahamas a unique and often striking character. It was there that Christopher Columbus made his original landfall in the Americas. The subsequent fate of the peaceful original inhabitants remains one of the more tragic episodes in the development of the entire region, while the early attempts at European-dominated settlement were marked by intense national rivalries, interspersed with long periods of lawlessness and piracy. The islands, lacking natural resources other than their agreeable climate and picturesque beaches, have become heavily dependent on the income generated by the extensive tourist facilities in the financial sector that have been developed, often as a result of the injection of foreign capital. The continued popularity of the islands with tourists, largely from North America, has helped to maintain a relatively high standard of living among the population, most of whom are of African descent. The capital, Nassau, is located on small but important New Providence Island. Lying to the north of Cuba and Hispaniola, the archipelago comprises nearly 700 islands and cays, only about 30 of which are inhabited, and more than 2,000 low, barren rock formations. It stretches more than 500 miles 800 kilometers southeast-northwest between Grand Bahama Island, which has an area of 530 square miles 1,373 square km, and lies about 60 miles 100 kilometers off the southeastern coast of the U.S. state of Florida, and Great Anagua Island, some 50 miles 80 kilometers from the eastern tip of Cuba. The islands other than New Providence are known collectively as the Out Family Islands. They include Grand Bahama, which contains the major settlements of Freeport and West End, Andros 2,300 square miles 6,000 square km, the largest island of the Bahamas, Abaco, or Great Abaco, 372 square miles 963 square km, and Eleuthera 187 square miles 484 square km, the site of one of the early attempts at colonization. Culture. The Bahamas has a distinct culture which has evolved over generations, from a mixture of mostly African, combined with some British and American influences, which developed into a unique and colorful style of Bahamian self-expression. Festivals. These days, it's a wildly exciting visual feast that begins at 2 a.m. and rolls until 10 a.m., as various clubs, made up of up to 1,000 members, don their crepe paper, feather, and cardboard costumes and masks, grab their homemade goatskin drums, cowbells and rake and scrape percussion instruments, and dance into the streets. It's a fabulous spectacle and entices revelers to dance the night away. Smaller versions are also held on Bimini, Grand Bahama Island and in the Exumas and the Abacos Islands. All Andros Crab Festival. If the idea of eating crabs cooked 101 different ways whets your appetite, when the Andros Crab Festival goes off. This celebration of large land crabs fills up Queen's Park in Fresh Creek, about 2 miles from Andros Town Airport, which is a quick 15-minute air hop from Nassau, with over 50 colorful food booths and plenty of jubilant musical acts. Taste local dishes like crab soup or crab and dough, learn all about the life cycle of the land crabs, and check out the cooking competition, as Bahamian chefs battle it out for the title of Best Crab Dish. There's even a crab release, with over 1,000 crabs set loose among the revelers. Just try to catch one without getting pinched. Fox Hill Day Festival. Bahamians celebrate their 1838 emancipation from British slavery with the annual Fox Hill Day Festival, an all-day party that's always held on the second Tuesday of August in the Fox Hill neighborhood of Nassau. All along, there's plenty of local Bahamian foods to taste, music to experience, and, the thing that makes the Bahamas so special, everyone dancing in the streets. Eleuthera Pineapple Festival. On the island of Eleuthera, local Bahamians have celebrated the island's pineapple industry for nearly 30 years with a lively get-together. The Eleuthera Pineapple Festival happens over the first weekend of June, as farmers bring plenty of the spiky sweet fruit into Gregory Town and join in the merriment. There's music, pineapple eating contests, a cycling classic, beauty pageants, and cooking competitions going on during this long weekend event. Be sure to ask before you bite in, as some of the Bahamian pineapple dishes come spiced with some serious heat. The Bahamas International Film Festival. Since 2004, the Bahamas International Film Festival (BIF) has been celebrating cinema with a week-long showcase of movies and short films from around the world. Usually held during the first week of December, the BIF offers screenings, seminars, educational forums, and parties, all designed to bring the culture of cinema to Nassau and beyond. Hollywood stars flock to the BIF, including Sean Connery, who has a home in Nassau, Johnny Depp, Anna Faris, Naomi Harris, and many others, who jump at the chance to combine their love of film with a trip to paradise. Religion. According to the 2010 census, more of those, 70% as Protestant, includes Baptist 35%, Anglican 14%, Pentecostal 9%, Seventh-day Adventist 4%, Methodist 4%, Church of God 2%, and Brethren 2%. Currency. The official currency for the Bahamas is the Bahamian dollar. The dollar symbol is used for the Bahamian dollar. The symbol $. Is used to distinguish it from other dollar currencies. The dollar is divided into 100 cents and is pegged to the US dollar at par. Cuisine. Bahamian cuisine is to the foods and beverages of the Bahamas. It includes seafood such as fish, shellfish, lobster, crab, and conch, as well as tropical fruits, rice, peas, pigeon peas, potatoes, and pork. Popular seasonings commonly used in dishes include chilies, hot pepper, lime, tomatoes, onions, garlic, allspice, cinnamon, rum, and coconut. Rum-based beverages are popular on the island. Since the Bahamas consist of a multitude of islands, notable culinary variations exist. Bahamian cuisines are somewhat related to the American South. A large portion of Bahamian foodstuffs are imported. Cf. Economy of the Bahamas. International cuisine is offered, especially at hotels. Many specialty dishes are available at roadside stands, beachside, and in fine dining establishments. In contrast to the offerings in the city of Nassau and in the many hotels, shack-type food stands, restaurants, including Goldie's and Twin Brothers, are located at Arawak Cay on West Bay Street, about 15 minutes from downtown Nassau and 25 minutes from Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. This is a very organized and safe place to enjoy fresh seafood and all local Bahamian dishes. Travelers Rest Restaurant, in Nassau, is known for serving authentic, local, foods. Bahamian cuisine is showcased at many large festivals, including Independence Day, Bahamas, on July 10th, during which inhabitants prepare special dishes like guava duff, Fox Hill Day, second Tuesday in August, and Emancipation Day. Some settlements have festivals associated with the traditional crop or food of that area, such as the Pineapple Fest in Gregory Town, Eleuthera. Attraction Shroud Cay in the Exumas cluster into groups, and each has its own distinct character and charm. Slung like pearls across the shallow Bahama banks, the Abacos and Exumas offer some of the world's best waters for boating and sailing. Sleepy fishing villages and secluded beaches dot these peaceful islands, and flourishing coral reefs rim many of their shores. Atlantis Paradise Island. Dominating the skyline on Paradise Island, this splashy, salmon-pink resort evocatively recreates the legend of Atlantis in a luxury hotel, entertainment complex, aquarium, and water park. It's one of the top resorts in the Bahamas. Nassau. One of the most popular cruise ship ports in the Caribbean, Nassau, Bahamas still manages to charm visitors, despite the crowds of camera-toting tourists. When it comes to things to do in Nassau, you'll find plenty of options. Bask on the white sands of Cable Beach, explore the shops, restaurants, museums, and candy-colored colonial buildings of downtown and Bay Street, and shop for souvenirs at the Nassau Straw Market. Exuma Cay's Land and Sea Park. Exuma Cay's Land and Sea Park has some of the most striking seascapes in the Bahamas. Located in the remote eastern edge of the Bahamas, the park is a no-take zone and marine protected area, the first of its kind in the Caribbean. Harbor Island. Pretty Harbor Island sits northeast of its big sister, Eleuthera, and has long been a hideaway for the rich and famous. Affectionately known by the locals as Bryland, it's one of the oldest settlements in the Bahamas, as well as the site of the first Bahamian Parliament. English loyalists settled here in the 1700s, and their cute pastel-hued cottages evoke a bygone era in Dunmore Town, the island's only settlement, where golf carts rule the narrow streets.